In this video, we're going to take a look at another two-transmitter UHF wireless microphone system. This one from Zhuosheng, specifically the XS9 Max. I've had the opportunity to look at and use a couple of different twin transmitter wireless microphone systems lately. In this video, we'll take a look at one of the choices you have in this category. If you've seen or read those reviews on my Gadget Talk channel and website, you know I'm a big proponent of investing a bit more to help ensure your video's audio is the best you can afford. The fact is, your viewers will ignore or excuse video faux pas to a much greater extent than they will audio ones. Think about it. How many times have you clicked on a video that looked like just the right information you were looking for, but clicked off a few seconds later because of poor audio quality? One of my favorite examples of this was a YouTuber reviewing a microphone while using the really bad mic in his camera. I kept asking myself, why don't you use the mic you're reviewing? As it happened, I own that mic that he was reviewing and it produces good audio. Why he didn't use it was beyond me, and I clicked off. Using a lavalier mic when spoken words are important to your video is probably the best choice for a solo producer or one working on a tight budget. You can wire a mic into your cell phone or digital recorder, or use a wireless mic directly into your camera or recorder. Wireless mics give you freedom of movement while keeping the mic close to the speaker's mouth. With dual transmitter sets like this one from Zhuosheng, you can have two speakers as with an interview setting or a show with a helper. For example, perhaps you're doing a cooking demo or demonstrating makeup techniques. The XS9 Max set comes with two transmitters, one dual receiver, two sets of foam wind covers, and a set of two furry wind covers for blustery days. Additionally, it comes with connection cables, a TRS to TRRS adapter cable, a TRS to XLR adapter cable, and an interesting 3.5mm to USB alpha adapter to plug into your computer. This set uses the UHF frequency band and has 100 channels, which in most cases will ensure no interference from others on the UHF band. That 100 channel description means 50 pairs of channels for the two transmitters. Let's take a look at the set and see how the controls work. We'll then do some audio tests to hear what they sound like, both indoors and out. Okay, here's the retail box from the Zhuosheng microphone kit. You can see it's checked off as having the two transmitters and the one receiver. It's the XS9 Max kit. So let's see what's in the box. So the kit comes in this nylon protective box. The foam inside gives it some strength and some protection. I've cheated a little and have had some of these components out of the box and have taken them out of their bags, but here's what you're going to get. So here in the top part of the case, in this little mesh area, I have what I'll be using every time I use the set, and that is the microphones. I've got the antenna for the receiver, and then the connector wire from the receiver to the recorder or to the camera, depending upon what I'm using. This little foam cover gives some additional protection. And then you can see I have the two transmitters here, the receiver here. You can see the antennas aren't mounted. And then in this black box, I've got a number of accessories that I'll show you here in just a minute. And then in the middle here, we've got the connector so you can clip it to the belt clip wire on the back of the receiver, and then use the hot shoe mount here to connect it to your camera cage or digital recorder. So let's take this out of the box and take a look at what the things are when they're not all bound up. Okay, so here are the accessories that come with the kit. We've got the user's manual. antennas for the receiver, the two microphones for the two transmitters. They each have an extra foam wind cover on them, and then a little alligator clip connector for your shirt placket or lapel. Here is a converter or an adapter that will take an input from the TRS from the receiver and convert it to a TRRS output if you're going to be recording into a smartphone or other device that requires a TRRS. This is another adapter. It takes the TRS from the receiver and then takes it and converts it to an XLR if you've got an XLR input on your recording device. Here is the camera hot shoe mount. It allows you to mount it on your camera or cage or other device. And then this little metal clip just fits into the belt clip wire on the back of the receiver, so that's pretty handy. Here's the basic connector from the receiver to your recording device, camera or digital recorder. There are two furry wind covers. And then something that wasn't listed in the instructions, but is kind of a cool little device. This is a USB converter that you can plug into your computer, and it has inputs here on the bottom for both the headphones and for the mic, and then you can make some volume adjustments and that kind of thing. So, and then you can, press the button and mute it here. So I haven't had a chance to play with that yet, but it was an interesting little additional device that came with the kit. So that's what we have in terms of accessories. So let's take a look at the transmitters and the receiver. So let's start with taking a look at the little transmitter. I've got the batteries installed in this, so it's still pretty lightweight with the batteries out. It is fairly lightweight. I've got the microphone attached using the screw attachment right up here. The antenna is built in, so that isn't going to be dismountable, so to speak. On this side of the case, we've got the battery door, which you just basically squeeze and pull the battery tray completely out to load two AA batteries. And then we've got the low-cut filter here. And so the low-cut filter allows you to electronically remove low-frequency sounds like that air conditioner running in the background, that kind of thing. And it is either on or off. On this side, we have a micro USB port that you can use to power this device with a power bank like you might use to charge your cell phone. And so that's pretty much the things on the exterior of the case. You'll notice here on the top it's printed and it says channel B. So these two transmitters are not interchangeable. You use them at the same time, but you've got channel A labeled as such as you do with channel B. So to turn the transmitter on, you just press the power button, which is on this side. You've got a settings button over here, and then you've got menu selection buttons right here in the middle. So let's turn it on. Okay, so with this point, with the transmitter turned on, there really aren't a lot of things to check or to change. And so at the top, you've got this little black square up here is the fact that the low cut filter is on. If I move the switch, it disappears and it goes off. You've got the status for the battery. And then you can also, with a quick press of the on-off button, you can get the mute button if you want to turn the mic off for a particular purpose. Here you can see that it's channel B, it's labeled channel B, and it's on channel 35. And the frequency for channel 35 for transmitter B is 585.5, so it's in the UHF band. Now to make changes, you simply press the set button and you see things start to change. And so you use these buttons to make changes to the channels. One of the things I found interesting is that the little arrows embossed on these buttons are backwards. So if you press the up button, the channel gets smaller. It's just a small complaint, but they work well. If you press the button again, you can move it into it. You press the second time, you can set the channel that you want. And that's really all there is to set here on the transmitter. So let's take a minute and take a look at the receiver. Okay, so the receiver has two detachable antennas. When they're loose, you can kind of put them where you want and then tighten them down, and then they can bend so you don't end up putting the receiver antenna pointed right at the transmitter and put it into the dead zone there of the radio frequency. So you can move these around to get your best reception. Again, on the top, I've got the connector wire plugged in and screwed down, and so it comes with a brass screw type connector. This empty hole right here, socket, is for headphones. So if I wanted to monitor the sound coming from the receiver, I could do that. Most people are going to tell you to monitor the sound coming from your recording device, not this, but you may want to have a sense of what's happening, the level coming out of this, and so it's a handy tool to have available for you. On this side, there's a switch, and it's set to either mix or to ST. I think of that as stereo. The instructions refer to it as the dual independent mode. But basically on the ST mode, if you're using both of the microphones, you'll end up with two tracks in your editing software. So you can edit levels on each of the recorded tracks independently, which is pretty handy. You can always combine the tracks, but trying to edit one or the other when they're in the mix setting, which is when they both come out of here, this little receiver already mixed together, makes editing a little more difficult. Again, your choice, that's one of the controls you have. Here's the battery door. It works the same as those on the transmitters. On this side, there is a micro USB port, again, to power this device using a battery bank to give it a longer recording life. On the back is a belt clip kind of thing, and you normally wouldn't wear this on your belt, but the little hot shoe adapter that I showed you a moment ago clips in here, which allows you to have a nice sturdy grip on a hot shoe style connector on either your phone or perhaps a camera cage. So those are the controls on the outside. Let's turn it on and take a little look at what we have inside. Again, a long press on the button turns it on. You can see that I've got the antenna up there in the top, and that shows that I'm connected to B. I've got my transmitter B. I left it on from a second ago. Then you can see that here it says phones and 5. And so I've got the phone output level at 5. And then I've got a battery indicator that shows the batteries are full. And you can see here kind of this vertical VU style meter. You can see the speaking that I'm doing, even though the microphone is set a few feet away, is picking up my voice. And so you can see that you've got an input going by the little squares moving up and down. And then you can see here that we're on channel 35. Now to make changes here, this has a couple of other choices for you. So first we'll press the settings button, and you can see that the phone is blinking, and then using this these arrows, you can change the audio level in the headphone jack. And again, the up and down buttons are backwards, so when you press up, the number goes down. You press this with the phones blinking. Now press it again with a quick press. I get the output level. And again, you can use the buttons to raise and lower the output level that this is outputting to your recording device. And so you can set your recording device at a reasonable input. Set this at a reasonable input and see how they match. Sometimes these little receivers can be pretty hot, so I'm going to start with them at a fairly low level, and then I can always increase it as opposed to starting high and end up with sound that's being clipped. Again, we'll press the button, get it blinking, quick press to output level, another quick press to channel, and again use the up and down buttons to change the channel. And so this claims to have 100 channels, and in fact it does, but they're in a pair of 50 channel outputs. So the channel here is from 1 to 50, and so the channel I've got is now 35. So channel 35 on transmitter B is a different frequency than channel 35 on transmitter A, but they're paired here in the receiver, so you can get both of them recorded at the same time, or just use channel A or channel B, depending upon what your needs are. So those are the controls that you have here on the receiver. There's really not much to it, which makes this really pretty quick to set up and easy for the beginner to get the output that they want to get ready to get their recordings underway. Okay, so this is the outdoor audio sample and range check for the XS9 Max wireless microphone system. I'm out here behind my house in an open area, and so this is kind of the audio you would expect. You can see I've got the microphone clipped here to my jacket, I've got the transmitter clipped to my pocket, I've got the little furry wind cover on, and as far as settings, I've got the receiver set to 1, which is its lowest setting, and on the inputs to the camera I've got that set well below half, because this particular receiver seems to output quite a bit of power, and so the audio and some of the samples that I did was a little clipped, a little hot. So I've hopefully got this dialed down so we have a good quality audio. But now let's check at the range. So I'm going to move back to about 100 feet and we'll see what we've got at 100 feet. Okay, so here I am at 100 feet. This is the kind of audio you would expect at 100 feet worth of distance between the transmitter and me. So let's move back to 200 and see what we've got back there. Okay, hopefully you can still see me in the frame. I'm here at about 100 feet from the camera, and that's the audio. I've got a delivery truck behind me. We'll see if that gets picked up. And I've got a bit of an airplane noise that's a mile or so away, but I can certainly hear him with my ears. Again, we'll see if we can pick him up with the microphone. But this is outdoor audio at 200 feet. Let's move to that 300-foot range. Okay, now I'm at about 300 feet, a little bit further. The published range for this is 328 feet, and so at this point we're probably just a little bit short of that. We're probably about 300 to 315 feet away from the camera, and so this is the audio that you'd get at that kind of range. So let me walk towards you and talk a little bit as I come forward, and you can get a sense of the audio as I close the range back to the camera. Coming up here at about 250 feet. I've got an airplane up over here. It's to my right. There's an airport not too far from here, and so it's not unusual to hear airplanes fly overhead. So here I am back at the camera, about 10 to 12 feet. Typical outside noise in a fairly quiet neighborhood. So that's our outdoor audio sample and range check. The indoor audio test is what you've been listening to. I've been using the XS9 Max to record this review. As a comparison, here's the sound quality recorded through my camera's mic. All told, the XS9 Max set produces good sound quality and works well up to about 200 feet in an outdoor setting. Beyond that, the audio sometimes drops out. For the beginner, the set's limited settings options are a big plus. Simply set the audio output level, headphone level if you're planning to use them, the low-cut filter, and you're good to go. If you want to mix the output channels together, or if you're only using one mic, set the mix switch to mix, or otherwise leave it set to ST for 2-track recording for easier editing. That's it. You'll probably develop a favorite settings combo and use that most of the time. The foam and furry wind covers are effective, and the screw-on connectors help ensure that the various cables stay connected. Last, the ability to power the units using a power bank can extend recording time considerably. I had one nitnoid complaint with this set, and that was the up and down buttons on the receiver and transmitter cases were backward. A press on the up button caused the channel to go down, and vice versa. Same with recording levels. The main con I found with this mic set is the range is a bit less than advertised. While it does say range will be less with things like trees in the way, as you heard in the outdoor test, I started losing signal at about 200 feet. In fact, I reshot that scene after making sure the antennas on the receiver were in the same vertical orientation as the transmitter's antenna. That helped quite a bit, but signal dropout in the 200 to 300 foot range still occurred. For most creators, that's not going to make much difference. I can't think of too many instances where one would be recording from such a distance. I promised honest reviews, and that did happen, so you need to know. Compared to other systems I've looked at, the dropout started about 50 feet closer than with other sets. It's important to know that some of those other sets were more expensive by about $50. I guess that's about $1 per foot for more range. If you're not recording from long range, the pros definitely outweigh the cons with this wireless microphone set. I've put an affiliate link to this mic set on Amazon at the bottom of the description. If you access Amazon through this link, I'll get a small commission on the sale. Your price won't change. Also, if you found this video helpful, please click the thumbs up button below the video and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel. Click on the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching.